I think that was an incidental boner joke.
I think that was an incidental pun.
Okay, I just wanted to.
So we
Donkey
destroyed
Kong knows all about that, if you know what I'm saying.
we destroyed Waterdeep last session. That was
Yeah,
exciting.
good job. Pantaloons' bar is gone forever.
The small settlement of
The
Waterdeep.
small coastal settlement of Waterdeep was annihilated with.
Yeah, just you destroyed Pantaloons' his bar and yeah.
Pantaloons own that bar?
Partially.
I do find it incredibly funny that everybody, like, you all just decided, yeah, Waterdeep, screw that place. Oh, to be fair, there's like an island off the coast you can go get slaves. If I'm remembering the.
How is that
board-
fair?
the
That's
board
in the
game.
end. That's in the Undercity.
Is it?
Yeah,
All I
the
remember is it's all.
The Undermountain.
All I remember about like the board game is it's off to the side.
It's in the Undermountain, which is below the city, which is, yeah.
Okay, so you guys were rescued, got aboard a ship, and the ship left the surface of the ocean and started flying through the air, and then beyond the air, out into the space beyond.
So I was thinking about this, and I'm like, you know, this might be the original actor Back to the Future taking the role way too seriously, but like, no, my character's like, what the hell is happening to my parents?
So here is the ship layout of the Moon Dancer. So yeah, I double checked, and yeah, like shoving a guy who was standing close to the center mass, shoving him 20 feet back would throw him off the boat. He's gone. So that checks out.
Good deal.
Here you have the artwork for Captain Sartell and her first mate, Flapjack the Flumph.
Flapjack is amazing, and I love him.
He has a really good hat. Like,
What are the
Oh, no.
chances it's not a hat? Like, maybe he's just shaped like that.
Could be.
I don't know.
I mean,
Flumphs-
it looks like it looks like it's literally just a hat.
Like, well, the question is it the cape that the Raven Flump was wearing, is that part of the thread?
No, it was a cape because he was a vampire. Trouble.
Right, I get it. So this is a hat because he's a pirate. I do think it's like just like I have now internalized that flumps, when they take a profession, they find the most suitable piece of clothing to wear to like indicate they're in that profession.
They have to be taken seriously.
So like Raven Flump's a vampire, so he has to wear a cape. Flapjack's a pirate, so he has to wear a hat. Well, he's not a pirate, I don't think. Like, but he's on a vessel. He's like
He's a
sailor.
He's a spelljammer. That's a
He's a sa-
spelljamming
he's-
helm.
He's a sailor.
So you escaped the destroyed small idyllic coastal village of Waterdeep, along with Captain Sartell, her first mate Flapjack. Her crew consists of 6 able sailing men, and you also have 60 assorted women and children from Waterdeep who were able to be rescued aboard the vessel. Although, a moment ago, you were thinking, we're saving these people, taking them out to sea to wait out the storm, and then we'll bring them back into port. Captain Sartell seems to have other ideas because she has blasted off into space on her insane space boat.
We're blasting off again.
Standing on the deck of the Moondancer, you see scores of crystalline vines erupting from the surface of your world, some of the vines reaching high enough to break through the clouds. You find yourself sailing through a void filled with colorful gases and blinking stars. A school of space-dwelling fish swims past the ship on the starboard side. I'm going to need McDohl to point out the starboard side, because I never know.
That would be this side over here.
I'm just gonna eat the
Come on.
heat wave.
That's
Okay.
the starboard side.
So right hand is starboard.
Yeah,
Left hand is starface.
larboard.
Welcome to Wild
not
Space.
No, he's not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
Welcome to Wild Space, says Captain Sartell, sweeping her arms wide. That was a close thing down there. Blast if I know what those vines are or how to get rid of them. but somebody on the Rock of Brawl might.
The what?
She explains that the Rock of Brawl is her port of call. And that's where she's sailing now.
Is it a safe place for... He gestures to the crowd of people the crowd of women and children on the deck.
She gives a shrug. This is safer than back there.
But where?
How far away is the Rock of Brawl?
A few 100 million miles.
I just nod sagely.
You
Yes.
can't nod. You're a squish man.
I can wiggle my head tentacle.
Yes, you can, but it's not
So
nodding.
either...
It's an approximate. I give an approximation of a nod.
Okay, Captain,
is-
so... By my quick mental math, either we will be on this ship for a very long time, or we are about to experience G-forces that will pulp most of the squishy organics innards here.
I'll be fine. I have no innards.
So, everybody go ahead and take the benefit of a short rest.
Oh, great.
As Captain Sartell, you being the most useful people aboard her ship by far now, like you single-handedly won her ship back from bandits. And you definitely get the sense that this is not a favor that she's going to forget about in the short term. So yeah, she's going to give you a quick rundown of what spelljamming is and how spelljamming works. First of all, the first thing that you learn is that a spelljamming vessel can get away with having a much, much smaller crew than a standard ship. She and Flapjack are on her ship, the Moon Dancer, which is one of the larger ships. For some reason, they gave her a galleon. Like, this is a lot of boat.
It is a lot of boat for
But-
6 people.
8 total. So she's the captain. Flapjack is her spelljammer. And she brings Flapjack into the room with the spelljamming helm, which is here, down below deck. Or not down below deck, into the stern castle. So from the main deck, you go into this back door, into this small hallway. And the room with the spelljamming helm in the center, it looks more like a machine than a helm. The question in my mind is, does Flapjack have to remove his pirate hat to wear it?
Absolutely not.
But all the tentacle monster has to do is, typically you would sit in a chair. Flapjack doesn't have a chair because he's a tentacle weirdo. So the spelljamming helm just comes down on top of it, and then he puts his pirate hat on top of that, and from there he controls all of the spelljamming functions of the ship. It still has sails, it still can leak. If you're going to use it as an ocean-going vessel, you would require a lot more crew. But he's able to use the magic of the spelljamming helm to sail wild space. And now, it's time to unlearn everything you think you know about physics.
That's okay. I don't know anything about physics.
I
Excellent.
only took like 2 classes.
How does air and gravity work in wild space? I'm Troy McClure. You might remember me from... So, anytime anything enters wild space, from a speck of dust up to something that's planet size, it automatically generates air and gravity around it. The amount of air and gravity that it generates is proportional to the size of the object. A person jettisoned out into wild space, for example, if Captain Sartell were just to chuck you off the side of her ship, excuse me, would generate enough air to breathe for 1 minute, after which you would begin to suffocate. The air around this object, also we still have little X's down here.
Oh, sorry. I was marking the spelljamming helm in case it was pertinent later.
Okay, well, you can leave it then, because we're going to go back to that map after a minute. The ship we're looking at here is called a Nautilus, and it's not as large as the Moondancer is. But basically, they generate air equal to the ship's dimensions in that dimension. So this Nautilus has an air envelope that is much wider than it is tall, because the ship is wider than it is tall.
You're on one of these at the beginning of Baldur's Gate 3.
If an object is large enough, the way gravity works is gravity is an accommodating force. That's the terminology they use in the book. It's friendly. It's accommodating force. So gravity works in the way that will be most helpful to the people walking upon the object. So for very large objects like planets, they pull you towards the center of mass. You can walk on all sides of the spherical planet. For a ship like this, something very small, including the Moondancer, there will be a gravity plane at some point along the ship to where you could walk on the main deck and below decks, no problem. But then you can also walk along the underside of it, no problem. These rules are basically designed so that you will never have to worry about air or gravity. You can just always assume you have air and gravity no matter where you are. That said, there is a new spell in the book that you might consider adding to your spell lists if you so choose. In fact, if you are playing a class which has this on its spell list, I will let you go ahead and add it after the first time you take a long rest of this campaign. I just have to find it here.
Air bubble?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Raz has that one.
Okay. Yeah, there's an air bubble spell that you can generate an air bubble that may or may not be helpful.
So if somebody gets thrown off the ship, does gravity pull them back or do they float away?
Gravity pulls you back. Unless you go out of this air bubble. So you can't just you can't just accidentally fall off the ship. And trying to push somebody off the ship is going to be difficult. Like, Eldritch Blast is great for pushing somebody off a pirate ship that's in a harbor. Not going to work so well in this situation. You've got to push him like 180 feet to get out of this, out of the gravity well. So inside this air envelope, there's gravity towards the vessel. Same thing for planets. Like, inside a planet's atmosphere, there is gravity towards the planet. Beyond that, you're just drifting through wild space. And probably suffocating to death. The spelljamming helms. If you attune to a spelljamming helm, and somebody is already attuned to the spelljamming helm, you can have a spelljamming duel to try to take control of the ship. This is how duels are like. So there's still piracy out here in wild space. You still can commandeer other people's vessels if your spelljammer is stronger than theirs and you get aboard their ship.
So it's a literal helm, like a hat you put on your head?
Typically, it's a room with a chair that you sit in, and there's a hat that you put on your helm, and then you psychically control the whole ship. You control its movements.
Does it take less than the standard hour to attune to it?
It does not. It's an hour to attune to it, just like any magic item. And I'm pretty sure it's not. I'm pretty sure anybody can attempt to attune to it. It's not class locked.
So, question about the gravity plane.
Yeah.
So, like, obviously, there's the image here. Like, it's pretty much like just even with assuming the floor of the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you like fall off of the ship and land in the gravity plane in such a thing where you're, like in the middle of where it would flip over, do you just oscillate back and forth? Do you split? Do you spin?
Yeah, of course. Captain Sartell recommends you not do that.
I bet you like that would be awful. By the way,
especially if you don't have flesh, bones, organs. Like if you're just a pulsating mass of slime.
Not like I would get sick and throw up.
Even if you did, how can anybody tell?
I mean, plasmoids eat.
I don't want to hear about it. That sounds disgusting.
Osmosis. I think. I don't know. It's a mystery.
So you all have a couple of hours of just kind of free time aboard the ship. Here's the immediate challenge that you have. You have 60 souls aboard this boat. that are never going back to Waterdeep again and are now flying. You can... What's the number here? In 24 hours, a spelljamming ship like this can travel 100 million miles. So you're going to reach the Rock of Brawl in just a couple of days. And you've got 60 Waterdavians who are trying to come to terms with this fact. That they're being relocated to an asteroid somewhere. Do we still feel good about saving these people?
Yeah.
No, Naught is currently in a deep depression. May or may not be triggered by events. May just be his programming.
Like, Mousse is going to comfort the women and children and try to shore up their backbones because he does not have one.
Okay.
He has So wait, I forgot to ask. All the stuff that I had like back at the inn has been destroyed, right? I don't have my 5 barrels anymore.
Anything that you weren't carrying on your person, you don't
Yep.
have, but anything you have listed on your character sheet that you weren't carrying, you can find aboard the ship. Because if you go down
That's
into
right.
the
I
cargo
can go
hold
find
down
my 5
here,
barrels. Okay.
Travis, the bandit who was planning to steal the Moon Dancer, who had no idea that it was a spaceship, had done quite a lot of looting during the riot, during the chaos of the previous day. So the hold of the ship is packed with provisions and just anything he could get his hands on, really, including a dozen healthy mules. So as Captain Sartell goes down below deck to kind of take stock of what she has, she sees 12 mules lashed to the side of her boat. I suppose I can sell them as beasts of burden when we reach the Rock of Brawl.
Is there a lot of farming on the Rock of Brawl?
She thinks about it, not as such.
So yeah, Naught has just taken out his painting kit, set up a large canvas, and is just painting a just utterly dire and desolate looking scene.
And in the
on
corner
a
of the
massive
painting,
canvas.
a sm-
There's a small werewolf in a straw hat.
a small werewolf.
The smallest werewolf.
But yeah, the spelljamming room, which is where you'll find Flapjack as the ship is in transit. The helmet itself looks like a floating, ornate silver chair. It's just he's not sitting in it because he doesn't have a butt.
Hi.
So I guess what you can kind of picture, I guess, is like a salon chair. Where like you kind of recline into it and the thing comes down over your head. So it's not a magic item that you can carry around with you. It's part of the ship. It's like it's a feature of the ship itself here in room number 5.
So he's like he's on like a salon couch, just like leaned back with this helmet on, going, "Paint me like one of your French girls."
Like the book says, Flapjack the Flumph sits in the chair while piloting the ship, but I look at his physiology and I'm like, that's a lie.
Well, he just splays all of his tentacles out and then sits
Yeah.
down flat, right? Like on the underside of his jellyfish body.
I imagine he just kind of floats there and like tickles the armrests.
He's just sitting on his tentacles.
Like
But for now, the people that you've and I have a whole contingency here for what happens if you bring Travis and his goons with you. You guys dunk them in the water, so they're done. Most of the people are kind of milling about in one of the 2 cargo decks, kind of going through. Captain Sartell this isn't her cargo, so she's not super attached to it. She's basically gives you guys the job of making sure that the people that they brought have what they need from these illicitly gotten goods that the goons brought aboard.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, is it actual like money, or is it just goods?
Mostly goods. But there are sacks of food for the animals and material placed here by Travis and his gang that consists of 20 40-pound crates of assorted martial weapons and 500 bottles of brandy. In
Jesus.
addition to just provisions and things he's brought aboard.
Well, so like obviously like
He stockpiled 2,000 gold worth of martial weapons and 500 3 gold piece bottles of brandy.
This man stole 1,500 gold pieces of liquor,
Yeah.
and like that was his priority, not
Yeah.
food.
No, he
Not
brought.
water.
Priority straight.
He has provisions and stuff too. It says, like he brought a bunch of. That's just the valuable stuff. The martial weapons and brandy are the valuable stuff.
Oh, okay, but like not gold or anything. I suppose that's good. If an apocalypse is happening, you don't get the fiat currency. You get things to trade.
And like a dozen healthy mules.
Yeah. So no. Okay, never mind. He's right. He's right. You don't be that. You don't be the guy that goes and like busts in the tills in the zombie apocalypse. You steal the alcohol and the booze and all that to trade later to the survivors. Gotcha. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
it also says he's got 1,500 gold worth of crypto.
That's like worth 2 copper,
So-
right?
so like 0 crypto. Or anyway, I think that Mousse is going to suggest that we get all of the refugees together and explain to them the situation, and then give them and we take all this weapons and stuff. Anybody that wants to arm themselves can, and then we sell when we get to the Rocker Brawl, we sell the booze and we sell the martial weapons to give to these people so that they can, not be destitute homeless people on the Rocker Brawl.
To give to these women and
Yeah.
children.
Yes.
Excellent idea.
So why don't you guys figure out what social skill you want to use to try to calm these people down and assure them that they're going somewhere safe, that they'll have their part of this booty, that they won't just be dropped off on this rock and left to their own devices. What kind of role would you like to try to make here? Persuasion, deception, intimidation?
So Naught is going to use. Hold on, let me find what it's actually described as. Someone else can talk. I have to. Something open my sheet.
So
Yeah,
Milos
Lukari
wants
has no
to keep the children entertained and out of the way, so that the grown-ups, the actual decision makers, can have the
Conversation, the hard conversation.
can have the conversation.
Entertained
yes.
how?
Tumbling.
Give me a Dex acrobatics
He's-
check.
Yeah, he in fact has a poster of his own stupid face, and come see the magnificent Milos Barza, star of the Barza Family Circus.
Yeah, give me a Dex acrobatics check.
Okay.
Success on this check will convey advantage on the social check that the grown-ups are using.
Can I assist him, being a monk?
No.
No. Okay. Maybe I could just be a ball that he rolls around on.
Be magic.
That's a 24.
Although, if you roll up a Hadozee monk, are you now a monk monkey?
Yes.
Or a monkey monk?
Monkey monk.
Monkey monk in the funky bunch? So keeping the
That's a
kids
24.
keeping the kids occupied will convey advantage on whatever check you're going to use to assure the rest of the crowd.
Okay, so here I know exactly what Naught is doing. All right, first, he is going below deck and retrieving a barrel, lamp oil, and a small pile of firewood. He is pulling out a large stand for a canvas and stretching out in front of the ship this massive, absolutely gorgeous painting he'd been working on over the course of weeks of Waterdeep, with just at night with the most beautiful buildings, the moon in the background, like the Milky Way or whatever the Faerunian equipment is behind one of the cities, and he says, "This is garbage, your home is gone," and he tears it off the canvas, throws it in the barrel, lights the whole thing on fire, and then plasters up a new one that he's made over the intervening time, just a rough sketch of the city being destroyed with these, it's just a layout of how he's going to lay it out. He's like, and no matter where you're going, it's going to be better than this because everything has to be. My old work is garbage, and he lights it on fire.
So is this intimidation or persuasion?
This is performance. This performance paid or supplies.
All right, give me a
We've hit the manic streak of Knott's unique programming.
give me a charisma performance check.
You got it.
And
That
you can
is a
make-
charisma
You can make this
performance
at
of-
advantage.
Oh, excellent.
Because there's no children.
There's no children to scare.
Well, we went on to 15 or 15. That's a 23 on charisma performance.
You know what? It turns out nobody liked Waterdeep all that much anyway.
Yeah.
Like, everybody thinks they like Waterdeep while they're there. And now, a lot of them start throwing up. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
All of us?
All of you.
Oh,
DC's only 10.
That's 23. Wait, do I even have to do this?
Unless you're immune to poison.
I don't. Hold on,
23.
I don't eat or drink. I have advantage against poison paralysis.
Oh, this is a poison thing. Okay,
Yeah.
So I have advantages.
If you're immune to poison, you can ignore this. But
No, just advantage.
even if you can't throw up, you can probably still experience vertigo.
Milos
would the
chucks in the middle of his performance.
would the advantage to poison work here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I pass.
Okay. So the acceleration to it's like 100 million miles per 24 hours. You felt the acceleration, especially most pointedly as you were moving up out of the gravity well of Faerun. But the abrupt slowing as the ship comes to almost a halt is much more. It's nothing you've experienced before. It's not a wrenching sensation. It doesn't knock you back and forth on the ship, but you become aware that one moment you are moving at blinding speeds, unfathomably fast, and the next moment it comes down to just, I think it comes down to 50 feet per round, I think is the sailing speed of these ships when they're not in their like hyperdrive. Captain Sartell has explained. Actually, you know what? None of you asked the obvious question here, which is, when you're traveling at those speeds, what happens when you hit something?
I don't think Mousse knows to ask that question.
We haven't thought about that.
Same.
But what actually happens is once a spelljamming helm that's traveling at those speeds enters within 1 mile of any object, it automatically slows down, so it can safely navigate around objects. So long trips like this have a lot of stop and start, as you might fly past errant space dust, but sometimes it's like a fleet of pirates or another undiscovered planet or anything. Today, after you guys have had a few hours, you've taken your short rest, you've acclimated to the... You've selected what you wanted out of the ship hold, you've acclimated the crowd of people a little bit. The ship slows, and another vessel comes into view. Go ahead and place yourselves up on the deck somewhere. It's approaching the Moondancer from astern. I don't know what astern means, McDohl.
From behind.
Oh, so it's coming, it's chasing you.
Yeah. That's this end.
The pursuing vessel looks like a giant moth with wings made of iridescent crystal, similar in color and luster to the crystalline vines that ravaged your world. You can just make out figures on the other vessel's deck scrambling to arm the ship's mangonel. Astral elves, curses Captain Sartell. And they don't look friendly. Best ready yourselves for a fight.
Hey, I resemble that remark.
Mangonel, that's a small catapult, isn't it?
Yes, typically
Okay.
ships like this will have ballista or mangonels. Which does the Moondancer have?
Looks like Balliste.
And
I
there's
believe-
a Mangonel over here.
Yeah, so it has all three. So she's got crewmen manning the mangonels up front. Now, combat, anything placed on the deck of the ship, the rules for Spelljammer, I haven't cross-referenced with the rules from Ghostmarsh, which is where most of the ship-to-ship combat rules are. But they're really, really not interested in the minutia of like where stuff is located on the deck. So even though these bows are on the wrong side of the ship, for the purposes of these rules, they can still hit a pursuing vessel. As long as it's on the deck of the ship and as long as it's loaded and has somebody operating it, you can hit another vessel wherever it is. They just really are not concerned with the minutia like that. However, the books also state that when ships are close enough to be fired upon each other like that, for player characters, it's almost always better that they stick to their own weapons and spells. It's usually not worth a player's time to man one of these big weapons.
I guess let me know when they're 120 feet away.
Is that when you're going to open festivities?
I mean, that's when I can hit him with Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
You can't target. Can't target the ship with Eldritch Blast.
No,
Can I
but you
target
can.
people on the deck though.
You can. It says you can just make out figures on the other ship's deck.
I mean, maybe they're friendly.
No, let me know when they're 120 feet away.
Okay. So what are you telling
Yeah, I'll
Captain
ask the
Sartell?
Captain, will they attack us?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, she says that their ship is much faster than the Moon Dancer. They've got a Moth. She's lugging around a galleon, so there's no way that she can outrun this ship, and she can't engage the Spelljamming helm safely while there's another ship in the area. So, the order that she gives is for Flapjack to turn to the side so they can engage this vessel. Now,
Okay.
Sartell is going to need to know if anybody is about to start flinging Eldritch Blasts at the other ship from 120 feet.
Yes, Lukari will inform Sartell that whenever they get close enough, I'll take care of them.
What are the range increments on Eldritch Blast?
I think it's just 120 feet.
120 feet.
So there's no, like, just beyond that you can't target, but inside of that there's no disadvantage range?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I didn't take the one that makes it 300 feet.
Yeah, so she says if you can see the figures on their deck, and you can target them with magic, that will be very helpful, because they're going to close the distance fast. She figures you guys have about 1 minute to position yourself on the deck before you're at that particular range.
Which side of the deck are we going to be facing their ship? Which is
I'll
the
leave that up
closest?
to you. Since you guys are going to start lobbing spells and stuff off the side, which side would you like to face their ship?
Like it to be this side.
Okay.
McDohl, you're gonna have to tell me which one that is. I'm gonna eat the wave cannon again.
Left.
Port.
Yeah, the left.
Port side.
And so before they get in range, before we do combat, Lukari is going to cast Armor of Agaths.
Okay. That's the kind of stuff you have 1 minute to do.
I don't have
I
anything
want
to do.
Yep. I mean, I'm just gonna spend the entire minute bouncing slightly.
Okay.
I am going to look
Yeah, I
at
don't
some
have
of the
any
rigging
pre-combat
of this ship, and is there any rigging or anything like that?
There is, but it's not necessary for spelljamming, because spelljamming
Okay,
is just magical travel.
But the idea is that I am Monkey Errol Flynn, and I'll be damned if I'm not going to be swinging from ship to ship.
Yeah, if you want rigging up there to swing around, I'll say they still have.
Absolutely.
Because
gonna
remember,
be
you
doing that.
you sailed out of the harbor in Waterdeep for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bear with
So
me
that's
just
going to be my
one
intent.
moment. I just have to see I have to see whether Lukari's Eldritch Blast range is inside the range of their weapons or not. And I had this page marked, and then I took my bookmark out because I'm a dumb face.
Don't be a dumb face.
So long range for longbows and mangonels. So you've only got the one mangonel here. Is 500 feet. That's where we're gonna roll initiative at 500 feet.
How fast do the ships move towards each other?
That is an excellent question. I think each ship has its own speed. So they have a Moth. You have a Space Galleon. So the Moon Dancer has a fly speed of 35 feet. And the Moth...
I didn't realize the moon dancer was doing was just fucking tripping over her own feet.
That's sublight speed.
Yeah, theirs is 50, which is what I thought it was. So that's why you cannot outrun them. So yeah, let's go ahead and get some initiative on the board here.
Hey.
Dice back in the thing because I rolled a 1.
So Destil, do the math. How long are we going to
Yeah,
be
I'm doing
shooting
that right now.
mangonels at each other until we're 250 feet apart?
That is what I'm doing right now after I put myself on initiative.
Purple is Flapjack. So any moves that can be made with the vessel would be Flapjack doing it.
Then it was, said there was 35 and 50.
Yeah, you guys are moving
And
at
they're both
35.
moving towards each other.
They're moving towards each other. At the last minute, she's going to order Flapjack to spin the ship, so you guys are facing on the stern here.
We have 5 rounds before we're at 120.
You know what I'm actually going to do is put both of the Spelljammers just on 20 for their ship and your ship.
And knowing that, I am going to take total cover until we're in spell range. And I'm going to encourage everyone else to do the same.
Probably a good idea. You're right.
I need 3.
I don't think that it's worth having someone manning the Mangonel because they just get shot to death by their longbows.
Exactly.
I mean, do you guys have longbows?
I don't.
No.
I don't have
I
a
can
bow
make
at
one,
all.
but I don't have any arrows.
Well, there's arrows in the hold. Might have
Okay.
a crossbow, but I don't really think it's worth me being a pincushion up there.
Now, when you're firing these weapons at each other, you're not trying to hit somebody on the deck. You're trying to hit the other ship, because the ship itself has some amount of hit points. That if you take too much damage, you can destroy the vessel. So what they're going to be trying to do is... how many mangonels? They have 1 mangonel, and they've got 2 ballista. So yeah, their ship is as well armed as yours is.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be trying to disable your ship by doing enough damage to it so it stops moving. So even if everybody goes, ordering everybody below deck is not going,
Yeah.
you might save lives, but the ship will still sustain damage, and you're not returning fire.
We can't return fire from that far away anyway.
You can.
Well,
You've got a mangonel, so mangonel can be
NPCs
fired
can.
at disadvantage at 500 feet.
Are we having to, like, if we have to man them, yeah, that's fine. I'll go up there and do it. But I thought the NPCs were going to do that.
Oh no, she's got a ship of able seamen. She can.
Right.
I think I know the exact size of her crew that she has on the
I think
mangonel.
you said 8. 6 or 8 is what you said earlier. I forget.
It takes 5 men to operate the mangonel, to fire it once every round, to winch it back into place, load the next mangonel stone, and loose it. It takes a crew of 5 to fire each. It takes a crew of 3 to fire each of the ballistas. So she's got 6 guys. They're probably all on the mangonel lobbing rocks.
All right.
So how many rocks are we lobbing at each other for the first 250 feet?
We're moving together 85 per round.
Mhm.
So 250 would be 3 rounds.
All right, let's...
I would like to man the. So there's 6 people, so there's 5 on there, 1 NPC on this. I need a volunteer to be up here with me so we can man this ballista.
What's the attack roll with a siege weapon?
I think just dexterity. It's just a ranged attack roll.
I thought it was 6 people for all of them. Is it 6 people per?
Yeah, it takes a crew of 5 to operate the mangonel. She has 6 people on her crew, not including her and Flapjack.
So it's 6 people per mangonel.
Yep, and you've only got the 1.
Yeah.
This is a giant weapon. This is a siege weapon mounted aboard the ship.
And then 3 for the ballista. So we have 1 extra NPC
What's the-
sailor.
What's the range on the ballista?
At 250 feet is long range for the ballista. So I'm going to do
Okay.
6 mangonel shots, 3 for you, 3 for them.
You know, it's-
Once we're at okay, so after 3 rounds we'll be in light crossbow range. I'll get out on the deck at that point because I can contribute a little.
Okay. So let's do the first 2 rounds then. The reason it takes a crew of 5 because it takes 2 actions to load the mangonel, 2 actions to aim it, and 1 action to fire it. So 5 men on the mangonel can fire it once per round. And your first Mangonel Stone was a critical hit.
Nice.
Nice.
And it can't hit targets within 60 feet of it.
Oh, good. Okay. Once we get close.
So for 10d10 bludgeoning damage. If you disable the Star Moth before it even gets close.
NPC's making a lucky crit.
14. $40 points. Do they have a damage threshold of 15 though? So that brings it down to 25. Their first Mangonel Stone against you does hit. For 30 points. Which is going to bring it down to 15. I'm just going to double check my...
I also have something I think I would like to do. Looks like I do have an option for something I can do during the first 2 rounds of combat, but it's not like a roll or anything.
So from 500 feet away?
Yeah. So when once we start approaching, Naught will part up his barrel of water and cast Shape Water 3 times, twice to create 5-foot sheets of water, and the third to freeze both of them into sheets of ice for concealment.
Okay.
Doubt they'll block a shot, but they should provide, like, you won't be able to see something. With little handles on the back so you can hold on to them, like kind of tower shields. Again, they won't block shot, but hopefully we'll get some bonus from them not being able to see you behind them. So when you go out there, use the ice walls.
Go ahead and draw those ice walls out.
Yep,
where you've
they're
placed them.
mobile. They're 5 foot. They have like little...
Then here, go ahead and take a stone from the cup and label it, turn it blue and label it ice wall. Does anybody else want to do anything at 500 feet out?
Dodge.
Yeah, if you don't do anything, I'll assume you
Dodge.
Dodge.
All right, same volley at 415 feet out.
It's very difficult to vitamin K at this kind of range.
Yep. You guys
Fireball.
hit them with the Mangonel shot. For 19 points, they've got a damage threshold of 15. They hit you with their shot. I can't believe you guys got a lucky... NPCs get a lucky crit. How about that? 24 minus 15 is 11. Is anybody doing anything at this range?
Still too far.
Still too far.
Still too far.
Yep.
Okay. And this is the last before we're in ballista range. Your shot is a miss. Their shot's a hit. $23 minus 15 is 8. Anytime I do simple math like that out loud and nobody corrects me, I just assume I got it right.
I wasn't listening.
Oh, okay. So stones are raining down from their mangonel, crashing onto the deck. So where it stands is the Moon Dancer started with 400 hit points. It's now down to 368. But you've dealt some damage to their ship as well, but it's very speedy. And you can barely see the figures on the deck. You are now at 245 feet, which is still disadvantage for the Mangonel, but now is inside the disadvantage range of the ballista.
I would like to act at this distance.
Okay.
So, all right. So if one of us goes to the ballista, it goes 3 on one of them, and then if Monkey Friend, Jedi Lock, and can we convince the captain to man the other ballista?
The captain, Go ahead and put her on the deck. What color did I make her? I think I made her red.
Her bandana's yellow.
Oh, should she be yellow? Here, I'll make her yellow. I'll switch the two. I mean, she's needed on deck to bark orders around, but no, she's waiting on the deck for the inevitable boarding party.
But she doesn't want to bark orders while she helps us shoot the other ship?
No, her skill's much more useful giving orders, making sure everything's going according to plan. If you want to man the ballista, though...
we don't have enough people.
Yeah, you got 60 people below deck. Give me a persuasion check to see if you can persuade a couple people to come up from below deck. Because manning and firing the ballista is not necessarily skilled work.
Yeah, we just need we just need the person who's aiming and firing it, like the loading.
Yeah, I don't think a 7 is going to be very convincing.
No, people below deck are... people, they're calling out, well, when the ship burns, he'll just paint us a picture of the ship burning and then show us that the next ship will be better.
I don't know if the next ship will be better. The next ship might be worse. Today's turning out pretty bad.
So we've got Flubber on one of the ballista, and
I
last...
would like to act this round.
There's only 2 of us on this ballista, so so is it the same? Is it 1 action to load, 1 action to aim, and then 1 action to fire?
Hold on.
You have 1 extra seaman on the boat who's not doing on the mangonel. Right. So if you want him on the ballista, you and Lukari and that one guy can work it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do character actions first, then I'm going to do the siege weapons, and then we'll do the movement after that.
Okay, yeah.
I wish I'd taken Unseen Servant.
So what is Naught doing?
Naught is going to grab his shield. He's going to move out here and orient it so he has total cover. And then he'll pop out from behind it and take a snipe with a light crossbow at one of the guys operating their Mangonel. So that's disadvantage at this distance.
Yes.
That'll hit an armor class of... I'm not even looking at the... Of course, I'm looking at spells. How would crossbows be on spells? That'll hit an armor class of 17.
That hits.
All right. So the Mangonel operator will take... 10 damage.
Okay.
And then move back behind again. This is just a thin ice wall. It's not going to stop anything, but hopefully I'll get some advantage from the not being able to see exactly where I am.
No, certainly won't stop a mangonel stone.
Yeah, it won't stop a bolt or anything. It's like an inch thick wall of ice.
Okay. Any other character actions?
I just want to help operate the ballista.
Okay. And you're just Milos here is just up in the rigging.
No, actually, I can assist in manning a ballista as well.
It takes 3 men to man a ballista, so you need 2 other people, and we have failed to persuade anybody below deck.
We have 1 seaman.
Well,
now, if you have 1 able seaman, it takes to fire a ballista. It takes 1 action to load it, 1 action to aim it, 1 action to fire it. So 1 person on a ballista by himself can fire it every 3 rounds.
Right. So it's me.
Just put marks on the ballista every time you take one of those actions. Like if one of them's undermanned.
Well, I'm just saying it's like I load it, the seaman aims it, monkey friend fires it, right?
Yeah, he's got the best decks, right?
Okay. So go ahead and give me a ranged weapon attack for whoever's firing it.
Okay.
Whoever's got that, and it's at disadvantage because you're too far away.
Sneak attack on a ballista.
Can't do it.
It's a ranged weapon.
No, sneak attack does not apply on siege weapons. Don't be.
Yeah, siege is actually its own category along with ranged and melee.
No proficiency?
Unless you're proficient in firing a ballista.
Nope. Sure I am not. That's a 13?
It's a +6 to hit, it says. It just says, and it probably doesn't factor
16.
in your proficiency. It's just a straight 16.
Okay, then 16 hit.
16 will hit. It is 3d10 piercing damage. And it has a damage threshold of 15. So if you don't roll at least 15 damage, you haven't done anything.
26 damage.
So 13 damage.
Nice. Good shot.
That's hitting the hull.
Yes, just damaging.
Yep.
tearing through the... I mean, this thing actually has wings, like a moth would. So, like, tearing apart the wings could damage it. There's not a lot of mechanics for damaging specific parts of a ship. It's just, it has an HP, and when it gets low enough, it's... I think when it gets bloodied, it becomes disabled and stops, like, has to lose functionality. Let me roll for the Mangonel, which is also at disadvantage. Their Mangonel misses. They've got men on their ballistas now, both at disadvantage. One of their ballistas hits, but doesn't get over the damage threshold. 9 points of damage. And we move 85 more feet. We're within 160 feet now. Lukari, you're almost there.
Okay.
Next
I
round.
believe in you.
At this range, Mangonels are not fired at disadvantage, but ballistas are. Do we have any character actions you want to do?
Yep, I'm gonna take another shot on the same guy. My
Okay.
light crossbow, still at disadvantage from range.
You have no way of knowing at this range and with their
If I'm
movement.
hitting the same guy, yeah.
If it's the same guy.
That's only gonna hit an armor class of... Oh god, what's that on the page? I can do math. It's gotta be a +5. 11.
11 is not going to hit.
Okay.
The good news is at this range, with all the activity on both vessels, like you might not even know if you hit or not.
Yeah.
And you duck back behind your ice wall?
Yep.
Any other character actions we want to take?
Load aim fire on our ballista, I think.
Well, that's that's a siege action. Once we get close enough to board, we'll just jump at the top of the initiative with Monkey Friend here. That's what we'll do.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and give us a roll for that ballista.
At disadvantage, because we're still out of that range.
Correct. You're still a little too far for the ballista.
How about a 14?
A 14 will not hit.
Boo.
Let me double check that. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. It will hit. They have ceramic plating,
Oh,
whereas you guys
I
have.
don't break
wood
the
plating.
damage threshold then.
Okay, so you got
I
below
only rolled
15
14
damage.
damage.
Okay.
14.
Their ballistas miss and miss. Their Mangonel miss. Your Mangonel miss. As the ships are speeding towards each other, aiming them becomes more and more difficult. You're trying to bring the trajectory down.
Every time there's a whole bunch of misses in a row, I just picture people having like a slap fight.
Okay, we're now within 75 feet. So
All right.
all
Alright.
siege weapons are no longer at disadvantage. We're going to do character actions first. So we'll just jump on initiative now, since I think now a bunch of people are going to pop off. Milos, are you going to fire the ballista this round?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll still do the siege at the end, I think. Will be easiest for...
Okay.
So we've got Robot Boy, and also on 20, I'm just going to keep the Spelljamming Helms. This might become necessary to keep track of if the boarding party gets to your Spelljamming room and needs to start making those checks.
All right. So we're 60. You said they're 60 feet apart now.
75 feet.
20 feet. Excellent. How is their ship laid out? Are the Mangonels and the ballista close to each other, or spread out like ours?
They've got two ballistas on the front of their ship, which is currently speeding towards you.
Yep.
The Mangonel is... Yeah, all weapons are on the front of the ship. So the ballista are on the lower deck, and the Mangonel is perched 2 decks up in the center. It's a very long, thin ship.
So, what I would like to do... how many of their siege operators can I get within a 30-foot by 30-foot cube?
Potentially all of them.
All right, they all need to make a DC 15 Wisdom saving throw against Hypnotic Pattern.
Against Hypnotic Pattern?
Yep.
Okay. I need to look up range for a spell myself then. This is a lot of d20s that you're making me roll.
Sorry.
What's my DC?
15. You shouldn't have so many siege operators.
This is clearly your fault.
2 passes out of all
Alright,
of
a
them.
pattern of sprayed icy fire lights streaks out from a point at the center of that 30-foot cube, and all except for the 2 of them are completely captivated by it.
Okay. Now, do they have to stay in the range of the spell to remain captivated?
So here's what happens. The creature is charmed for the duration. While charmed, they are incapacitated and have a speed of 0.
Okay.
It ends if the creature takes any damage or if someone uses an action to shake them awake.
Okay. So that's a good spell to use in this case, because the ship's going to speed through the area of that spell's effect instantly. So if it was something like web.
Yeah, they don't have to stay. Yeah, it's for the duration.
Okay.
As long as I'm concentrating on it.
So yeah, their siege weapons effectively go slack then.
That's my action.
Fortunately for them, at the beginning of the next round, they're going to be close enough to board you. Who else has a character action at this range?
Lukari does.
What do you want to do?
Don't hit the guys that are enthralled.
Yeah, you can see the boarding party manning up on the other side, and I will actually tell you who it is. If you'll permit me to go back to my first book here.
Yes. Now that we're close enough to see them and make them out.
Looks like the boarding party has 12 people, 3 Astral Elves and 9 Hadozee mercenaries. Hadozees are the monkey friends. So you've got your pick. You've got 12 guys to shoot at.
All right, which of the guys is closest to the edge?
I mean, they're all lined up aboard the front of the vessel, ready to board. They're the beginning of next round, they're going to be able to jump aboard your ship.
I guess the question would be if theirs... We're assuming, I guess theirs is about as wide as ours.
Yours is wider, but remember, they're coming towards you. So the bow of their ship is pointed at you. The bow is the front,
okay.
right, McDohl?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we're on our side. They're coming towards us on the front. Okay.
Yeah, this being the last round before boarding, this is when Captain Sartell gave the order to move the ship to the side, so you guys... That's the configuration you guys wanted in when the boarding happened.
Yeah, so they're going to ram our ship and split us in half. Cool.
They're probably not going to ram it. They're probably just going to pull up alongside it and board.
So I guess we'll take the... we'll just go for the first one on the line.
Okay.
I suspect their smaller ship would take way more damage ramming this big old galleon.
Also, the galleon's really valuable.
Yes.
They're pirates.
Well, maybe.
I think it's more likely that Sartell is the pirate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
They could mutually be pirates.
the first beam is going to be a... what's my hit? Sorry, 25 to hit on the first one.
That'll
and
hit.
16 on the second one.
Both hit.
So it's going to be 11 points of force damage, and he's going to be pushed back 20 feet.
Okay. And the second beam?
Oh, that was together.
Oh, that was together. So you fire 2 beams at the same... At one of the elves or at one of the Hadozee?
Whoever was up front.
But you have your pick. The elves look... I mean, the elves, Sartell has told you, are in charge. The Star Moth is an elven ship. Okay. The Hadozee are probably mercenaries.
Yeah, just one of the elves.
Gotcha. Bear with me just a moment.
So that one elf takes 11 points of force damage. He gets pushed back 20 feet.
Okay. And any other character actions that we want to resolve before we start firing the weapons?
Nope.
This is the last round of... So the ballista can continue to fire at each other as long as... From any range. However, once they're close, within 60 feet, so when they're in boarding range, the mangonels no longer have the ability to attack each other. All right, let's go ahead and get that ballista attack roll then.
Actually, they're about to board. He's going to move back.
Yeah, that happens next. They're gonna be able to board next round.
Oh wait, no. Why not roll it? Why not roll it disadvantage? I didn't mean to. I'll take the lower number. That's a 22 to hit.
22 will hit. It's 3d10 piercing damage.
Ooh. 18, so like 3 damage. After
Okay, 3 damage. I mean, it's not
Hardness.
nothing. It erodes the strength of the Star Moth.
Yeah.
And just before boarding, because I don't have any reason to not share all the wonderful artwork from this. This is what the Star
dang.
Moth looks like as it approaches. So, what's interesting, contrasting this with the Moon Dancer, is the Moon Dancer is more or less just a ship, like you'd see in any harbor. The Star Moth here is very much not. This is definitely a spacefaring vessel for sure. Annoyingly, and D&D Beyond does this a lot, but the printed material in the book for what comprises this Star Moth's crew when they board to fight is different from what it says it is in D&D Beyond.
There's a reason for that.
Is there?
It's a dumb reason, but yeah, they switched it from the Hadozee to the
Plasmoids.
to Plasmoids because of the whole
Oh,
controversy.
that's dumb.
Yeah.
I'm not happy about that. But the book still says that they're monkey friends.
Ouch. Yeah. I don't think it matters one way or the other, but yeah.
No, I think they've got the same set block, hopefully. No, they have different stat blocks because they gave them poison damage resistance and... The important ones are the warriors, though. So coming in at the top of the initiative here. So purple and pink are Spelljammers. Yellow is Sartell. Green are the Astral Elves who are boarding. And red are the Hadozee mercenaries. And they are come alongside your ship. Spelljamming vessels are much more maneuverable than standard ships. So the speed, it looks like it's coming in at ramming speed, but it's able to slow and turn at similar time to provide these squares of boarding opportunities. So coming in at the top of the initiative with Milos, yes?
Yep. We got Milos with Naught on deck.
So Milos, coming aboard your vessel, you've got 3 Astral Elf warriors. And
this is the captain, right?
Yellow's the captain. Yellow is your captain.
Yeah.
And their boarding party is 9. This does not account for their whole crew because they had more elves manning their siege weapons.
Oh, they should have gotten advantage on that save against Charm if they were elves.
Oh, I guess you're right. It doesn't matter, though.
Sorry.
It's
Make
fine.
you roll even more dice.
So I just get the dice rolling app on my phone if I ever... I won't, but I could. So there you go. This is what it looks like, Milos.
Yep. I'm just checking some stuff here.
Remember, they're probably going to be going for the spelljamming helm.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing down from the. I'm gonna swing down from the forecastle to here, and I'm going to swipe at this guy.
So swipe at the first elf as he starts coming across. One of the elves has already sustained damage because he got hit by an Eldritch Blast. Do I not? Yeah, there we go. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and give me that roll.
It looks like the captain's within 5 feet of him, so would sneak attack apply here?
If you want to, I'll let you apply sneak attack if you ready an action for when one of them actually lands on this square.
Okay. Sure, I will. Yeah, I will ready that action.
So the gap between the two is greater than 5 feet.
A 5-foot step will get you from their ship, which is here, to this ship.
Okay.
Okay.
They just haven't physically made the move yet.
Okay, I'll ready that action then.
Yeah, that's fine. And who's next?
Gonna hit this one with a quickened mind sliver. Sliver.
Okay.
So I'm going to need a DC 15 intelligence saving throw.
That's a fail.
This isn't Magic the Gathering.
So that's what
All
sliver
their mind
is.
slivers.
6 psychic.
6
all
psychic
their-
damage.
All
No,
other
2d6. 1 second. So that one will take 8 psychic damage and get -4 to its next saving throw. And then if I jump off the ship and float over 5 feet, like I can be like right up in this guy's face, right? Like that's the way gravity works here. Something stupid like that.
Yeah, if you leave the... So what happens when two ships are close enough is right now, functionally, they're both sharing the same air bubble and gravity plane. So when two ships are this close in proximity, the bubble around them just gets bigger.
Okay. And then I'm going to need all 9 in front to make a DC 15 saving throw against a thunder wave.
What's the range on Thunderwave?
15-foot cube.
Okay.
So there should be 9 of them in there if I jump up at them.
Well, they're not literally lined up in
Okay.
nice, easy ranks like this.
How many can I get into a 15-foot cube then?
I'll say you can... Are you trying to get any of the elves or just all the
Yes,
guys?
the
all the
elves.
mercs?
I'm definitely hitting the elf I just mind slivered and as many other targets as I can.
If you want to hit all 3 elves, I'll give you 3 of the mercs.
You got it. So DC 15, what is Thunderwave? Con, and that one takes -1d4.
Okay.
You cast Mind Sliver, all other slivers get +1 attack.
It's just this next...
No, it'd be
it's
the-
just for this saving throw, though, right? That's like it's not a permanent
Yes,
effect.
the effect is just this saving throw.
Let's do him first. That's a big, big fail. The other 2 elves, I'm looking for a DC of 15.
15.
Okay, they both pass. And then 3 of the Hadozees. All 3 Hadozees fail.
All right. So they can enjoy 17 thunder damage, half on a save, and the ones that failed their save are pushed back 10 feet.
Okay, bear with me one moment. Half of 17 is 8. That makes the math real nice here. So yeah, the first 3 monkeys in the boarding party are just toast. And the elf is pushed back 10 feet, you said?
All the elves that failed are pushed back 10 feet.
Only 1 elf failed.
Okay.
I think on his turn, though, he's still going to have enough movement to get to the deck.
I was gonna say, I think he gets an AO if I try and float back towards my ship with the weird subjective gravity thing. Because there's
No,
still one of them that I didn't hit. Oh, okay.
You can move back.
Okay, I was hoping to blast enough of them that wouldn't be a problem, but then I can move. So let's see, I move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Get back behind my ice wall for some more cover.
Mechanically, just to keep my bookkeeping a little easier, like 2 characters like this, who are technically adjacent to each other, but on different ships, I'm not counting as adjacent.
Okay,
Just to make
awesome.
my bookkeeping a little bit easier.
And then I'll just rotate my ice wall around as my item interaction to have a little more cover from their ship. That's the end of my turn.
All right.
We're
We
not.
got
Question: We're not floating, are we? Like we're still boots firmly planted on the boat.
Oh yeah, no, there's gravity. In
Okay.
fact, the bigger in a situation like this, the smaller ship would have, like the gravity plane would have to conform to the larger object's gravity. So they had to make sure that their ship was oriented properly coming in.
Okay, gotcha.
we've got the Spelljammers followed by Jedi Lock on deck.
Okay, well they're not doing anything. They're just keeping their ships together. And then Lukari?
Yep. Well, they're still a good distance away, so the one that was already pushed back. Which one of the elves is looking most injured?
The one that just got mind slivered and pushed back is bloodied. He's
Okay,
not having
so-
a good day.
So we're gonna hit him with the first Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
That's gonna be a 24 to hit.
That'll hit.
That's 4 points of force damage,
Okay.
and he's pushed back another 10 feet.
lost Destil.
And now he's gonna have trouble getting aboard the ship this round.
Well, he's about to have more because the second Force Blast.
Okay.
Oh, that's only a 10 to hit.
10 will not hit.
Okay. And bonus action. It hasn't been 8 hours since we boarded this vessel, has it?
No, you guys have only been aboard the Moon Dancer for a couple of hours, just long enough to take a short rest.
All right, then we're gonna transfer the curse to the elf closest.
So transfer it from where you left it on
It
Faerun.
lasts for 8 hours, and once something dies, you can transfer it as a bonus action to something else.
Does it
And
specify it has to be on the same plane of existence?
It does not say that.
All right. Then yeah, you transfer it from 17 million miles behind you. Transferring it to who? The same elf that you've been pummeling?
No, the elf closest to me, which I guess would be this guy.
Okay. Just to clarify, functionally, you're not going to be able to knock anybody off the deck with Eldritch Blasts because of the way the gravity wells work.
Yeah,
They're just going to be able to scramble back on. And you're moving or staying put?
He's gonna stay put with the ice wall turn, so the only way into the door is through him.
Okay. Fair enough. Oh, so your goal is to guard the spelljamming helm then?
Yeah.
Okay, who's next?
Sorry, I got disconnected. Someone else will have to. If someone else can grab that one, I'll get it set up again.
It's gonna be Yellow is next.
Sartell.
The captain.
She's going to take one step back and just ready in action to attack the guy that jumps in front of her. So people jumping in front of the captain are going to have a bad day. And then who?
Green with red on deck.
All right. Let me double check their movement speed to see if this guy that's been pushed back 7 times can actually get to you this round. Yeah, probably can. 2, 3. Yeah, so they can all jump in. And their goal is to bring down the captain. That's going to trigger a held action from Milos.
Yep, it's true. That's a net 20.
Okay.
Hi, I'm a rogue now.
Is that the guy that's just been taking all of this?
Yeah, he's the only one who's taken damage yet. He's
Oh,
bloody.
he's gonna have a bad day.
He's having a very bad
He's going to
day.
have
You
a
hear-
very
you
bad day.
You hear Mousse yell behind you, "We need to take one hostage or captive so we can get information."
I don't think that
What?
doesn't look like a captive number of dice.
I don't know what the. That's
Well, we have-
only. It's only 27% or 27 piercing damage.
Oh yeah, no, I say you. He dead.
Don't you have a bonus for your dex?
Yeah, he's very dead.
It's like what? I think that's
That's only on a. That's only on my turn. This is a reaction.
Yeah, this is Green's turn, but they're moving forward. Triggered a couple of ready actions. Sartell.
Do they both
misses.
attack the captain at the same time?
They're about to. Yes.
Can I use a twin spell that has a that works as a reaction that if both of them are qualifying for that reaction? Like, can I twin a spell if 2 guys attack at the same time that requires like basically trigger on their attack?
What's the spell?
Silvery barbs.
And its casting time is a reaction.
It's a reaction when someone makes a d20 roll.
Yeah, you can twin that if 2 guys are attacking.
Twins. I've got a twin silvery barbs. They both get a. They have to roll 2 d20s and use the lowest, and Monkey Friend will gets advantage on his next d20 roll.
Okay.
Hey.
well. The reaction is they succeed.
Oh, they have to hit? Really?
Yeah, they have
Oh,
to
damn.
succeed the D20 thing. And by the way, it very specifically is not disadvantage.
Okay. Well, if
So-
either of them hit, then I'll do that.
They both hit the captain.
Yeah, they both have to re-roll.
They both. So they reroll. It doesn't say. Let me read this spell. This sounds like it's
Yeah,
weird.
it's a mess of a spell. I agree.
Right. I thought this was going to be straightforward.
No.
Is this one of the new ones?
Yeah, it's in Strixhaven.
It's a stupid spell.
There's
we-
a. Yeah,
We had a discussion
there's a
about
hilarious.
Oh, I don't have this in my app then. Okay.
yeah.
There's a hilarious XP to level 3 video about silvery barbs.
I gotta go back into the tunnel.
Love the tunnel.
That's literally what he did. He did it twice as fast too.
Okay, so my copy of Strixhaven was a load-bearing book that was
Oh.
next to the shelf where my internet router is located, so hopefully pulling the book from the shelf did not
Destroy
kill
your
my
internet.
We need to like come together and get you like a proper shelf for your D&D books before your entire wall falls.
We wanted to build one. And it's not the shelf on the wall. I'll take a picture of it later. You can see the whole. It's nasty. All right, let me look up silvery barbs. Casting time 1 reaction which you take when a creature you can see within 60 feet of yourself succeeds on an attack roll. So the idea is you're using this trigger, but then you're going to use a sorcery point to cast it as a twinned spell.
Yep, 2 sorcery points for twin. Or yeah, 1 for first level spell. Yeah.
Okay.
I know we kind of abstract the people attacking at the same time for enemy turns, so.
I have no problem twinning this spell. That's fine.
Yeah, they both have to re-roll. They both roll a new die.
Why didn't
Use
they
that one
just
instead.
say that it applies disadvantage?
Because if you already had disadvantage, they want you to do it again. It's kind of dumb.
Okay.
They want to give you they want the opening for double disadvantage.
That's exactly what it is. It's double. It's a potential for double disadvantage.
That's okay. They both still hit.
Okay. Milo, you get advantage to your next attack roll, save, or check in the next minute.
Bully.
So it definitely looks like their plan is to bring down the captain as quickly as possible.
Doing my best to help.
I understand.
All right.
So get some damage rolls for them.
What is my
Sorcery
DC?
point.
What is my DC on stunning strike? Okay. I just need that in my pocket.
Their second attacks both missed. All right, so I need to damage her twice. They're not using shields. And their swords get radiant damage.
Brooker's gonna accidentally kill the main NPC in the first round of combat.
Yeah, she's not looking too hot. These guys bear down upon her,
I don't like that.
barking out orders to bring the captain down. And when they strike with her swords, their swords gleam with starry lights. If she has another round like she just experienced, she's going to be in dire straits.
Okay.
That's it for elves.
That was green, so we got red, I believe, with Snotman on deck.
Okay.
Ah.
The Hadozee mercenaries swing their way across the ship, landing in front of you. Let's do Mousse first, eh?
Okay, sure. Moose welcomes you with open arms, tentacles, pseudopods,
Yeah, there you go.
jiggly bits.
No.
Mousse.
Yeah.
I have a 20 to hit
Well, yeah.
and a 14 to hit.
No.
So only one hit.
Only one.
4 points of piercing damage.
All right.
Mousse.
Yeah.
I have a 19 to hit
Yeah, that hits.
and a 5 to hit.
No.
3 points of piercing damage. As each one of them
Oh.
stabs at you with knives. Each one catches you once and misses you once.
Okay.
Lukari, if they bring you down, they can give orders. They can call back that the spelljamming helm is unguarded. I have a nat 1,
No.
and I have a 12 to hit.
No.
I have an 8 to hit
No.
and a 21 to hit.
Ooh, that hits, but he takes 15 points of cold damage.
From Armor of Agathis.
Yep.
Ooh, yeah, no, he doesn't like that. Yeah, big boy doesn't like that. Go ahead and take 4 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
Oh right. Oh, so Armor of Agathis is such a good spell when you like upcast it.
Armor of
You don't have to upcast your Warlock.
I know when it gets upcasted. I mean, like it's not so great at a level 1.
I think Armor of Agathis was the very first spell ever cast in a Flumph campaign.
That is
Destil
correct.
cast it with P.
Yep.
It was
cast out of a-
Pegasus.
Yeah, cast out of a pea bucket. Milos.
Sir,
I have a 9 to hit.
9 does not hit, sir.
22 to hit.
Yeah, that'll hit.
For 3 points of monkey knife damage.
Reaction. So I have a thing I can do. Yeah, I'm gonna knock that down by 1d6 plus 3 with my Hadozee dodge.
Okay. So I guess they all have the same reaction, right?
would
Is it in
assume
their stat
so.
blocks?
I wouldn't know because I've got the Plasmoid stat block here because they changed it.
It's a racial feature. Yeah. How much damage did you deal?
3 points.
I take none.
Does it say minimum of 1?
Uh,
Usually spells like that will
when
say
you
minimum
take-
of 1.
It says
It's not a spell. It's a.
It's a
minimum
reaction.
of 0 damage.
Okay, then yeah, you take nothing. Just
Like he's
dodge.
dodging out of the way. It's not a.
Yeah.
It's not uncanny though.
No, it's
I've
not.
seen a lot
He
of
does only half, and that would do minimum.
nobody could describe the dodge you just did as uncanny. Not. I've got a 15 to hit
That is my armor class.
and a 14 to hit
Nope.
That is not his armor class.
for 4 points of piercing damage.
All
As
right, let's see here. Still concentrating on the charm effect.
and I only have 6 Hadozees.
These weapons are still offline. You said it was 4 damage?
Yes.
Thank you.
And you've killed the other 3 Hadozees. That's it for Red. Who's next?
We got. What's your character's name, Treble?
Mousse.
We got Mousse with Milo on deck.
I am going to not disengage.
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to eat 2 opportunity attacks.
You will. I have a 7 to hit
No,
and a 13.
They have Sentinel.
jump off.
Okay.
So that's do. Right here,
Sure.
and I am going to punch this man.
Punch that man.
Yes,
Not punch because you don't have
Space
fists.
elf.
vitamin goo.
Ooh. The Guiji special.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay. Does a 16 hit?
Yes.
Okay. All right. He takes 7 bludgeoning damage,
Okay.
and I need a DC 14 Constitution saving throw.
How's a 4 do?
He fails and is stunned.
Gotcha.
Like something can only speak haltingly.
Sure.
Second attack. Oh, also he takes. Whatever. We'll save that key point. Does a 17 hit?
Did you roll at advantage because he's stunned?
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
did.
Yeah, 17 hits.
Okay. He takes. I'll go ahead and use this key point. He takes 7 bludgeoning and 4 necrotic for my
Okay.
second attack, and then 1 more key point. So I'm gonna use just dump 3 key points in a single round.
Sure.
Flurry of blows. Does a 20 hit.
20 will hit.
All right, he takes 4 bludgeoning damage,
Okay.
and I'm going to substitute one of my flurry of blows with a hand of healing, and the dear captain gets back 7 hit points.
Very good.
I think that's my turn.
Okay.
That's a good turn.
Who's next?
We got Milo with Naught on deck. There's siege actions, I guess, but their siege guys are all.
They're all boarding now.
No, they're all looking at the pretty colors.
Yeah.
Ah,
they
fair.
can't
We
fight
have
anything.
we have a whatever the rock thrower is though.
Well, we're too close to use a
Are we
mangonel.
in out of range for that? Okay.
You're out of range for the mangonel, but if you have the men, you can fire a ballista.
They'd have to relocate from the Mangonel to the Ballisti. So can they do that this turn and fire it next turn?
Well, there's Hadozee all over the.
We'll take care of them.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and engage with this Hadozee.
Okay.
This
will.
just don't forget this guy right here is stunned.
And you have advantage on your first attack anyway.
Oh, you're right, I do. That guy's. There's so much I want to do now. Give me more options.
Space
Okay,
always
yeah,
prevents
I'm-
more options, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and attack that Hadozee. That is a plus 7 is 18 to hit,
18 will hit.
and my sneak attack applies because I have an ally within 5 feet.
There's so many reasons for you to sneak attack here.
12 points piercing damage.
And he is bloodied.
So now that I have given a I've hit him with an attack, I can move over here and I do not provoke the attack of opportunity.
That's a swashbuckler feature, yes?
It sure is.
It's a good class. It's really good.
Yeah, it's just a little more crunchy than I'm used to.
Yeah, I think
I
it's
mean-
a real cool class.
Rogues in general are a little crunchy.
Best
Yeah,
class
anti-poke.
design 3 editions and running.
Yeah, so I'm gonna move over here to yep, and a bonus action that I can use. Nope.
You're good?
Nope, I'm good.
All right,
Good
who's
right
next? Who's next?
Not with spelljamming, so as a bonus action, I'm going to Misty Step to over here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to cast a Quickened Thunder Wave. I need a DC 15 con save from each of these friendos.
It's 2 fails.
Alright, that's first level Thunder Wave.
And one of them's already very badly bloodied.
Well, I did 8 thunder damage, so.
Okay, so one of them is killed.
And they're both pushed 10 feet away to give my friend here a little bit of space to not have disadvantage on his range attacks.
There you go.
I wasn't gonna range attack.
Well, now you can.
This is a melee character.
Well, do you want to push him like here or here? It's up to you.
Back towards the edge.
Okay.
Oh, was the other one killed?
The other one's killed. Yeah,
Nice.
he was already damaged.
That's the end of my turn. We
All
got Spelljammers with Lukari.
Okay, Spelljammers are keeping the ships afloat. Lukari, can you be the guy?
Yeah. Of course, now he's gonna move.
Now the door's unguarded. Oh no!
Oh, it's okay. It's only 10 feet of movement.
You can move right back after you kill the guy, right?
Alright, so Lukari will grumpily walk over to him, shake his head.
Does Lukari just do everything grumpily?
He does. He's a grumpy old man.
Yeah.
Just like Mousse does everything blobbily.
Gooily.
Yeah.
So we're going to cantrip to
Everything.
what's it called?
Booming
Booming Blade. Yeah,
Okay.
Booming Blade.
Everything Milos does is officially counts as monkey business.
Yes.
So that's gonna be a 19 to hit.
19 will hit.
I've decided everything I do is wibbly.
Ooh. Of the North Winchester Wibblies.
The North Goohampton.
So that's gonna be 13 points of damage.
And
10
that's
of those are slashing, and 3 of them are booming thunder damage.
You have slain the monkey.
Oh, move. Okay,
I mean, he did stab you.
he did.
Moving or staying put?
We're gonna bonus action. So the elf that is right next to the captain, the close one.
They're both next
We
to
need
the
a
captain.
strength saving throw from him.
Which one? They're both next. One of them is currently stunned and bloodied. The other one hasn't been touched yet.
The one that's cursed, I guess.
Okay, so the one that hasn't been touched yet. So
Yeah, we're gonna pull him. Actually, we're gonna
That fails a strength save, so
Okay, so if he fails the same strength, we are going to push him behind the other elf.
okay. So back aboard the deck of the
Yeah.
Moth. Okay. And are you moving or staying put?
I'm gonna move back.
Move back in front of the door. Who's next?
We've got yellow with green on deck.
Okay. Sartell is pretty badly injured. She's going to disengage and take a step back and hope that you guys can mop this up.
Got green with red on deck.
Green with red. He can't move further than this without leaving
He's
a threat
stunned.
range. Oh, he's
That one's
stunned.
stunned.
He can't go anywhere.
Nope.
This one can get here before he has to leave a threat range.
That would be Monkey Friend's threat range, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Correct.
So he can. If he takes a step from here, he's leaving Monkey Friend's threat range. Yeah, Monkey Friend is the guy to bring down.
Apparently.
Yeah, so I have bad rolls, a 7 to hit,
Okay.
and an 8
7
to
won't
hit,
8 won't hit.
and the other one is stunned.
Yep.
And the other one is dead.
Got red with Mousse on deck.
Suddenly, these two here are just going to take a very, very special interest in this ballista.
Valid.
It says that the monkeys retreat if you engage them at all in melee, and you've killed half of them. So they're done fighting. But they can fire that ballista at your deck. Like, they can fire that at any of you.
Does it take 3 actions to fire it?
It still takes 3
there's
actions to
like
fire.
4 of the dudes over there.
There's 4 of them on there.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna...
When Siege Turn runs around, it's gonna be kind of miserable.
Milos. I have
Yeah.
an 8 to hit you.
8 does not hit.
So the Hadozees go scrambling up and over you to get to the top deck, and 2 seconds later, you just hear this loud crash next to you as the ice wall explodes as they miss you by just a few feet. That's 3d10 damage if that hits you.
Yeah, no, he's a little bit spooked by that.
That's red. Who's next?
I've got Mousse with Milos.
Mousse, can you be the guy?
Mousse is going to vitamin K non-lethally on this guy.
Okay.
I
He is
I
the
want
stunned
somebody to-
one.
Yeah, he is the stunned one.
He's also bloodied.
Does a 15 hit?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
And it's
sorry.
a
No,
block.
it doesn't. They're wearing breastplate. I'm sorry. 15 does not hit.
Do you get advantage if they're stunned?
You already rolled that.
That is significantly. That's a 22, I think.
That'll hit.
That is new numbers. Who dis? That's 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
And do you get the auto crit if they're stunned?
No,
No,
Okay.
only if they're
incapacitated.
incapacitated, yeah.
All right. So that's 8 points. Martial arts. That is a 21 to hit
That'll hit.
for 5 points.
Okay. Yeah, he's still standing, but he's not looking happy.
You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and spend the key point on flurry of blows.
All right.
That is a 18 to hit.
18 will
On-
hit.
This one.
The other one? Okay. Yeah, that'll hit.
Yeah. He takes 5 points of bludgeoning damage, and my last key point, I need a saving throw from him.
Is he
Please and
down
thank
for the
you.
count?
What kind of save?
Constitution.
That's a 6.
He is stunned.
So the other one is no longer stunned, and this now the
Yeah, he-
second one is stunned.
Yeah. So the one in front of Milos is no longer stunned, but this one right here is stunned and cursed, I think. So, you know.
He's having a bad day.
Not a...
All right, who's next?
We've got Milo with.
I am going to move. I'm gonna move right here in front of the captain.
Okay.
And the
And I
other
will
one was
eat
stunned
that-
until the end of your turn, right?
Yep, and so I don't eat any AOs.
No, you don't.
I've got Milo with Naught on deck.
Monkey friend.
Okay. See, so you're no longer stunned, then you're getting stabbed.
That one is bloodied. The one who's not stunned is currently bloodied.
And I currently don't have any other allies in range of him, so if I still hit, I still get sneak attack. That is an 18 to hit, sir.
That'll hit.
Ooh, spicy. 22 points, piercing damage.
Are you trying to take him alive?
Yeah,
All right, then he is unconscious.
since Snotman seems so insistent on it.
Well, we got to figure out what's going on.
I will let everybody in eyeshot of what's happening who has a reaction to use one right now if they so choose.
I have a reaction.
Sure.
Use a
Hold on
reaction
to my reaction.
to make an insight check.
Okay.
I need to
My
hold on to
insight's
my
garbage,
reaction
so-
desperately.
It's a 15.
14.
14 and we got-
15.
so Gooboy and the Jedi, you notice when this one is knocked down, this one is going to use his next turn to retreat. They're going to
No, he's
cut
not.
their losses.
He's stunned.
Well, no, but you can see on his face, like as soon as he can retreat, he's going to.
He haltingly conveys this information.
Like you can see the fear in his eyes. Like, oh, we bit off way more than we could chew. This was just supposed to be like the captain and a Flumph on
A
this
loot and
boat.
scoot. A
Exactly.
loot and a scoot.
So that was Milos. Is Milos moving or staying put?
Milos is going to move, in fact. Let's see. Still getting used to this fancy footwork stuff. Oh, that creature specifically, so he could still take an opportunity attack.
He's stunned.
He can't do that. Hi guys, how you doing?
Climbing up to the monkeys.
Yep.
Doing anything to him?
Can't do anything yet.
Not with Spelljammers.
Okay.
I'm gonna throw a twin firebolt at each of these two.
Okay.
So front one hits an armor class of, I think that's +5. 7.
7 does not hit.
22.
22 will hit.
And then the back one, 9.
Will not hit.
Okay, the one that I hit takes 11 fire damage.
And that's enough for him. You have destroyed
Covered.
6 of the 9 monkeys.
Let's see. I
He
think I'll
burned one
just
to death.
move next to the captain and end my turn. We've
Okay.
got Spelljammers with Lukari on deck.
At this point, the Moth begins to pull away and beat the retreat. So everybody that wants, like, now's the time to choose which of the 2 ships you want to be on.
This
Well,
one?
This one that we're on right now is probably.
We could go
the
take
good
them
call.
off for ourselves.
we could. Do we want to go take them off?
You could try.
I've still got all of their siege engineers locked down.
If you jump over to their ship this turn, next turn you will not have the opportunity anymore because their ship's much faster than yours.
Do we want to take them off?
So if you jump over to the Moth and like you
I
can't
don't think any of us can actually operate a spelljamming helmet.
Yeah. it's
you would have to
supposed
convince
cancel.
their Spelljammer to switch sides.
I mean, that could be done at the point of a knife.
Yeah, no. Milos has done that before in the last couple of hours.
Do we want to hijack the ship or not?
Yeah.
Captain
do
Sartell
it.
calls out that that would be a bad idea. But there's not enough time in the middle of combat to explain exactly why. So the question comes down to how much do you trust Sartell's judgment?
Honestly,
I don't have any resources left. I can't really help much if we go to the other ship.
Yeah, okay. I guess we'll
Agreed.
stay here.
Yeah.
Sartell calls out to let the grunts retreat and take the elves prisoner if you can.
Yep.
Because the one who's stunned
one's
can't
completely
move.
Unconscious.
So, unless anybody wants to murder these last 3 monkeys, they're going to jump back over to the other ship.
Not evil.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna let them go.
We're going to let them go. And the elves don't have the opportunity to get over to the other ship because one is unconscious and the other is stunned.
Yep.
So yeah, within a few moments, the Star Moth begins to beat a retreat, and within just a couple of seconds, they're out of sight from you. What do you do with the two elves?
Well, it appears on this map that we have a brig that probably is very, very adept at keeping people inside, right?
Down here on the lowest deck. Yes, each one is armed with a longbow and a longsword.
I take those.
Strip their weapons and their armor.
Do the long swords, are they magic, or are they just like is the light that they did a function of being wielded by them, or is it a function of the sword itself?
When you take the swords, they do not glow anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's
no,
throw them in the
Milos-
brig, and then I'm going to need the conscious one to make a DC 15 saving throw against charm.
Oh, big fail.
Elf. So you have to roll it. Oh, he doesn't get advantage. I'll just negate that with my other racial feature. Or class feature. Okay, so he's my best friend for
An hour.
class. An hour.
So,
Okay.
first question I think is like, why did they attack us?
So let's actually move the elves down to the brig here.
Look, I know we're old friends, and I hate to put you in this situation, but I do have to find out why you attacked me and my comrades.
Okay. I have separate things here for what the elves know and what the Hadozees know. Go ahead and give me a either strength or charisma, depending on how you're
And I
approaching
get
it.
advantage because he's charmed?
Intimidation check. And yeah, the charmed one you have advantage with.
Can he use persuasion since he's charmed?
So that's a intimidate charisma of... Right in
Never
that?
mind.
No, but that's an intimidate charisma of 23.
23. Yeah, the elf is
Oh
terrified.
no, 24. I didn't see that 20.
And he's your best friend. Like, so you're convincing him, like, look, you know that we're way more powerful than you. Whoever you thought your big boys were, we're bigger, so now you're on the winning side.
Yeah.
Captain Sartell is standing next to you, letting you guys kind of take control of the interrogation. Like, she's giving the impression that you guys have done this kind of work before.
I mean, I'm willing to not disabuse her of that notion.
The elves confirm first and foremost that their ship, the Dark Star, is part of a fleet of the Xaryxian Empire, which confirms the captain's suspicions. This is why she said it would be a bad idea to commandeer that vessel. You probably would be physically capable of taking it, but once you did, you would have
Bad flag to fly, I think.
Xaryxian astral elves on your tail for all the rest of time, which is something you just do not want.
So yeah, bad flag to fly.
So yeah, now it comes down to what questions are you asking? Let's take.
Why
the
are
question.
you, so?
Do you want to take turns, the four of you, going around in a circle?
Yeah, I'll pose all the questions because I'm his best friend.
Sure.
But yeah, you guys just tell questions I'll ask.
We'll start with Treble.
Why are you in this area? Like, they also didn't answer why they attacked us. But we'll start
They're
with
kind
why
of
they're in the area.
kind of the same answer because Sartell had her suspicions too. Like, it's very suspicious when leaving a planet. You guys came across these elves within 2 hours of leaving Waterdeep. So you had barely traveled, only a couple million miles. No, they're in the area because they were commanded by Commander Vale of the Xaryxian Wild Space system. Was commanded to drop astral seeds on your homeworld. They're in the area to make sure that those seeds were planted, took root, and did the job they were supposed to do. And in fact, you caught them largely unawares. There was not supposed to be any spelljamming vessels on that world whatsoever. Sartell just happened to have pulled up in port.
You wouldn't happen to know why they are attempting to destroy our home, would you? This Captain Vale.
They do know. They're very proud of this process too, especially the one who's charmed is telling you this information. Like, share it. Well, the other one's unconscious, so he can't.
Yeah, that's my charm this one.
Yeah, very prideful of this information, taking great high levels of patriotism for the Xaryxianese. But yeah, the idea is they drop the vine, the astral seeds, into a target planet. And it begins to feed upon the planet's energy and all of the planet's flora and fauna, transmitting the energy back to Xaryxis and leaving the planet as a dead husk.
Well, that tracks with what we figured out about the vines.
How many
Can
how
this
many
process
such
be
ships
reversed?
have Xaryxis sent out?
To this wild space system, just the one. A single ship like the Dark Star can seed an entire planet undetected unless there are other Spelljammers in the area, which your planet did not have.
Where can we find Commander Vale?
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Most of the fleet has already begun sailing back to Xaryxis space, which is the name for Xaryxis system in wild space. Xaryxis space is the worst word I've ever had to say.
I don't know.
How many X's in that? 3?
There's like 17.
92. 92.
Yeah, so the Dark Star was they were kind of left here as a sentry to make sure that the seeds, like, nothing bad happened to them. So yeah, if you wanted to chase down Commander Vale, you'd have to go back to Xaryxis space.
Can this process be reversed?
Process is not, once the seeds are dropped, that's it. The world is over.
And at that point, Milos checks out.
Yeah, so Xaryxis has created this process by which they can just take all of the energy and all of the resources from a planet, beam it back home.
What are they doing with all this energy and resources from these planets? Why are you doing this?
All of the energy that they take, he describes the star at the center of Xaryxis space. The star is called Xaryxis because everything in this module is called Xaryxis. But the more and more energy that their star drinks, the brighter and brighter it becomes, giving glory and victory to these elves of the system.
There
So it's
has
bragging rights?
That's the answer he gives you. To make the star ever brighter and shine for all eternity.
So, how long is this process? Is this a matter? Is the planet dead in like hours, days?
No, it's going to
weeks?
take several months, and for the people left behind, it's going to be especially frustrating because the way it works is it gathers a lot of the energy into the root systems of the crystal vines, and then beams it back to Xaryxis space. So the last thing that the people on your world are going to see before they're left in utter darkness for all eternity, the last agonizing hours of their lives, is going to be all of the light and energy from their world beamed away in a brilliant flash. In fact,
it looks like
if the Moon Dancer stays in the Faerun system, they will be able to see the beam in a matter of months.
so. What this tells me is we've got a few months to figure out the problem and
How many
find a
planets
solution.
have this been done on already?
Countless.
Does your empire ever plan to stop doing this?
Why would they?
This is the most evil thing I've ever heard.
So you're going to
Yeah.
do this until Xaryxis is the only planet left.
I mean, Xaryxis is already the only system that matters. It's just a matter of time before everybody else gets in line.
Milos is off in the corner of the hold, crying.
Tell us the command codes and passphrases to get into Xaryxis.
Oh, they don't have that kind of information. In fact, even finding it would be largely difficult.
Good night, friend. I'm going to cast a Scorching Ray.
That's not good night. That's
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
so you're done with the elves. You decide to execute them.
yeah. He not just unceremoniously executes them about that point in the conversation. Both of
Okay.
them.
I mean, you got all the
Awesome.
useful information out of them anyway.
Do we need a horror check?
No.
This isn't
Uh,
Ravenloft. Gosh.
This is a
We just have
rollicking
the-
spacefaring adventure.
Yeah, where everything we ever know and love is dead.
Well, those are some genocidal maniacs.
Now,
Well,
it does say that the Hadozees are willing to serve aboard the Moondancer if you spare their lives, as long as they're treated fairly.
Well-
we'll have to talk to the captain. She mentioned she mentioned the Rock of Brawl.
Yes, she's making her way to the Rock of Brawl. That's a large port of call.
Maybe we should have asked if they plan to attack the Rock of Brawl before we killed them.
Well, it's not the Rock of Brawl doesn't sound like a planet.
Yeah,
Sounds like a rock.
Just an asteroid, yeah.
If we're going to the rock, we can't do anything more direct to defend it than go to the rock.
But
Which is what
Correct.
we're already doing.
so
Would've been
what I'm
good to know.
like, I don't think just because they think there is no way to stop it doesn't mean there isn't one. Because you
Right.
wouldn't tell,
Your
foot
underlings.
soldiers. Yeah, you
Yes.
wouldn't tell your foot soldiers your major weaknesses. You
For exactly this reason. What happens if your foot soldiers get
right.
interrogated?
You tell them you're invincible and no one can stop you, and the light of the Xaryxis star will shine forever.
Yep.
So
Milos
we need to
is
find a
still
way to get
real
to-
mama's boy, so
Yeah,
he is
so
not
we
part of
need-
this conversation.
We need to figure out how to get to Xaryxis.
So I suggest we ride to the Rock of Brawl with the good captain here. We find information on this empire, and then we go, and then I do some like not fist pumping motions. Like I'm not doing like just picture little like pseudopods doing like punching motions, right?
Mm-hmm.
We beat them up and we kick their asses and we save the planet.
Every canvas is a thread, and if you pull that thread, the whole thing unravels. We'll find a way to undo whatever these stupid plants are doing.
Like, I flex a little bit with my no muscles and say, we can heal the planet.
So,
Well,
So
Captain Sartell, the journey to the Rock of Brawl is going to take about 2 weeks. It's a ways away. And yeah, she agrees. When you get to the Rock of Brawl, there will be all kinds of opportunities to fish up information about the Empire. In fact, I might know somebody there who can help you. Friend is too strong a word, but I have an old contact there, a Giff named Commodore Crux.
Giff or Giff? I've heard it both ways.
You've never heard it as Giff. Nobody's ever said Giff. You lose an experience level.
Raz literally.
Raz isn't here. He can't help you now.
the defender of Giff is not here.
Everybody go ahead and take the benefits of a long rest, as most of the voyage to the Rock of Brawl is largely uneventful. Sartell is very impressed with how you all conducted yourselves. I mean, you guys clearly have some adventuring chops. She's not sure she would have been able to have taken her ship back from Travis or even fend off the elves without your assistance.
Well, while we have the captain here, does she have any? Can she give us any more info? Because obviously we're going to be traveling through wild space for a little bit. Does she have any information to share? Like
The captain's
what's-
isn't, but Flapjack is happy to take the opportunity to instruct anyone who wishes to learn the rudiments of spelljamming.
I'll learn
Yes,
it.
please.
Yeah, I'll learn that.
I mean, both of us. Neither one of us have bones, so I seem like the best person to learn from Flapjack.
So from this point on, any of you who has the opportunity can attune to a spelljamming helmet, and you have some basic proficiency with maneuvering a vessel that you are currently attuned to.
Do they still not have spelljamming ship as a proficiency in Beyond? Because it's really annoying that they didn't earlier.
I don't think it is a proficiency.
You can put a custom one in there.
You can. But again, it was really annoying that it wasn't in there already. Because
I think all you have to do is attune to the spelljamming helm. I don't think there's actually a proficiency associated with it. Maybe I'm
Yeah,
wrong.
like I said, you can create one custom.
yeah,
So about 2
Like
weeks.
if you look at my character sheet, I have Thieves' Tools custom entered into there, so that way I just have the bonus to hand all the time, and I don't have to, do the math in my head.
About 2 weeks passes, more or less uneventfully. You guys are given chores aboard the ships. It's possible that you were all experienced sailors already. What do we have here? Find information, travel the planet, ? Profit. Is this your itinerary?
That's the plan.
We're
Okay.
not going to a planet. We're going to an asteroid.
Going to the asteroid.
Gotta.
Well, no. First, we have to find information. We have to travel to Xaryxis.
I can use mending to help fix the ship, and then I'm going to work finishing up my painting of Faerun being destroyed by...
I get-
Wait, it's not
I guess like
even the
I'll
planet's not Faerun, is it?
I'll scrub the deck by turning into a blob and just oozing across the deck and eating the dirt via
So-
osmosis.
You're cleaning the dirt off the ship, then somebody's got to come up behind you with a sponge and clean up the mousse residue.
You.
We just get like I don't know.
This is a different form of holy stoning, Brick Road.
Toral, that's right. The planet's named Toral. Faerun's just a continent.
Yeah, no, Milos is like does whatever he is assigned to do and does it very half-heartedly.
Don't worry, Milos. We're gonna fix the planet. We're gonna heal it. That's what I do. I heal things. I'm a doctor, you know.
Oh, I'm sorry. You have to be a spellcaster if you want to attune to a spelljamming helm. So that does preclude some of you. Monks and
Oh.
rogues can't do it. Monks and rogues can't do anything. During the time, Captain Sartell tells you all of her encounters with various wild space creatures. Among them, a friendly solar dragon and some not-so-friendly space clowns.
Wait, back up. Space clowns?
Oh, yeah, there are space clowns.
That's the most terrifying thing I've ever heard.
She agrees. She would definitely prefer to fight off astral elf raiders than space clowns.
Do the space clowns sit like 20 to a tiny little ship that looks like it only hold 2?
Like, of course they do. It's the most terrifying thing you've ever seen. It's the only thing in Spelljammer that requires a horror check.
Isn't Milos didn't he grow up in a circus?
Yeah,
But it wasn't a space circus.
Wasn't a space.
it was not a
circus.
space circus.
Well, he wasn't one of the clowns either.
On the final day of travel, so the day that you're set to arrive at the Rock of Brawl, the ship slows unexpectedly. Around you on all sides, colossal chunks of rock float in the void. Some of them are overgrown with vegetation, while others are bare stone. Creatures resembling jellyfish and rays glide through the spaces between them. Captain Sartell looks about uneasily. Plenty of
That's not-
places for pirates to hide. As if on cue, a vessel lurking behind a nearby asteroid comes into view. Its enormous spiral shell merges with an open bow, beneath which long tentacles wave as if caught in an invisible current. Sartell sucks her teeth in and whispers her next words. Mind flayers.
Somewhere on a distant planet, Nath sits up in a cold sweat.
Next week on Light of Xaryxis, what will become of the crew when they meet their first mind flayers? Will they all get their brains sucked out through their noses and enslaved for eternity aboard a Nautilus ship? Tune in next Sunday to find out.
Now we make friends with it and put it in
I'm
power.
sure they're friendly.
You guys did
Yeah,
make friend
yeah,
with
no.
one mind flayer in one campaign, and it was a big mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, shouldn't have done that. Someone in the party knew you shouldn't have done that.
By the way, Flumph 6 takes place in that same setting like 100 years down the road. I'm sure that won't be relevant at all.
I'm sure that'll be fine.
I mean, it's probably poetic that like every problem in the modern realm was caused by our party. So, you know.
We just didn't get to play the campaign that caused all the problems you guys had to deal with. That was somebody else's
Right.
campaign.
Right.
That's a good way of looking at D&D. Like, you're always causing problems for the next campaign.
Yeah,
All right, that's it
100%.
for this week. Thanks so much for playing, guys. See everybody next Sunday for episode 3.
Thanks for friendos.